Goodbye, child-free community. Welcome back to Lives on Reddit. Don't forget to subscribe to be a for-lifer. I've loved this community, but unfortunately, I won't be one of you anymore. It's kind of a long story, and I hope writing it out would be cathartic. My husband and I, both 40s, have always been child-free. We met our best friends, another couple, before they had kids, about 18 years ago. We had a blast, going on vacations together, seeing each other every week, keys to each other's houses, etc. They eventually started having kids 12 years ago, which was fine. We supported them and they supported us. Our friendship changed, but it got stronger. For their first child, now 12, they asked us to be his godparents. We loved that and did. They got 2 more children, now 10 and 8. We love all of them and started saving for their college education upon their birth. They frequently stayed with us for a sleepover or a fun outing. It was a great way we got to see kids grow up, which we love, but still maintained our child-free lifestyle with double incomes, hobbies, getaways, etc. At some point, our friends drew up a will and asked us very seriously if we would take their kids if something happened to them. We thought it over, but quickly agreed. They have absolutely insane, crazy family on both sides, lol, and their kids don't deserve to be put there or the foster system. Well, that happened. A few weeks ago, they both passed away in a driving accident, killed by a drunk driver. Their kids were with us. It was a date night for them, and we got the bad news a few hours later. It's been a roller coaster since then. We're figuring out the legalities of it all. Their families are trying to get the kids, and we're shielding the kids from as much crap as we can. All 3 are on the waiting list for therapy. My husband's work is very hard to take time off, or to accommodate a family life, so most of the parenting has landed on me. I've taken my vacation time, and I'm figuring out where to go from here with my boss. It's extremely rough. The kids are great, they're obviously distraught, but our friends raised them well so far. But I'm now in the position of becoming a mother of 3 all of a sudden. Grieving the loss of our best friends of almost 2 decades and feeling pressure on my own relationship. My husband is trying, but it's obviously hard for both of us. So yeah, I'm no longer child-free. I'm in contact with schools, teachers, their leisure activities, child therapists, and juggling it with the existing life I had. I would love some support. Thank you for reading. Edit. Oh my god, I just checked back and I feel so overwhelmed with all the supportive messages and awards. Please give the awards to someone or something that needs them though. I really appreciate the gesture, but I don't know what to do with them. Thank you so much. Thank you for the messages highlighting inclusivity. Made me feel all warm and fuzzy. I'm going to check out all the resources and tips you guys gave me, us, to make the best of the situation. Someone mentioned full-time godparent as a name instead of mom. Thanks for that. Obviously, I'm not their mom, nor do I want to be. Their mom was an amazing person, but I didn't really think the naming part through. To the kids, I'm just on conscious aside, and that's cool too. I'm going to get my hubby aside tonight and see how he would feel about therapy for us together. We're generally good with communicating, but it's easy to lose sight of each other in a situation like this. Thanks, everyone. Edit number 2. I hope everyone who commented sees this second edit. I got some lovely personal messages and have been trying to read all the comments. I'm not in the US, English is also not my mother tongue, so the offers for help, as gracious as they are not necessary. The advice, however, I still take with me. I'm looking for alternatives in my area. Also, GoFundMe, etc. is really not necessary or financially good, but thank you so much for the outpouring of love and support. Thank you to the mods who have been moderating this thread so well. Thank you. I got some good advice on places to reach out to for the kids and support for us. Writing it all out helped me a lot. I wanted to tell you something about our friends too. She was working with kids. He worked for the local council. They were amazing people, so kind, generous, family-oriented. They were amazing with their kids and showed them the ropes of life. Taught them about nature, gardening, let them fall and get back up again. I can only hope I can continue what they did. The kids with us have been sleeping in the same room. It gives them support to be together, but they all get their own room. We've been decorating their rooms as they see fit, and they can retreat there if they want to. My husband has built a treehouse in our garden with them so they can go there too. I've raided my friend's house, that sounds bad, to secure their heirlooms to give to the kids. We've been framing loads of pictures, and my husband and I are wearing their wedding rings along with ours now. I want to give those to the kids eventually when they're older, and I figured out how to divide 2 rings between 3 kids. We've cried in front of the kids too, and told them it's okay to cry and miss their mom and dad or be angry about it. I think we're doing okay, all things considering. I'm going to figure out therapy as soon as possible for us all. Thank you again. I too am heiress to 2 boys. Should the worst happen to my nephew and his wife, I dreaded happening because I'd be an insta mom. But you know what? It's what has to be done. Good on ya for taking the harder road and setting yourselves aside. Keep the communication open with your hubby. And I really, truly hope you guys can survive this too. You need each other. Good luck. I hope you don't mind me stealing the term heiress instead of godparent. We're in the same boat. We are not kid people. But if anything happens to my sister-in-laws or my best friends, they know we won't abandon their kids. It would be hard to walk away from our child-free lifestyle, but there's no way we could let those kids go into the system, and we are literally the only trustworthy adults in their lives, aside from their parents. We hope that day will never come, but if it does, I'm glad to know the child-free community won't view us as traitors. Please tell me the selfish piece of crap that killed their parents is rotting behind bars where he or she belongs. My father was killed by a drunk driver while standing inside of a building nonetheless, and unfortunately they don't always end up behind bars, nearly as often nor as long as they should. Also, the legal battles to get them there can be a real bee, depending on the circumstance. So here's to hoping at least that part of things is smooth for original poster, so she doesn't have yet another thing on her plate to deal with. I am someone who grew up as the kid in a similar situation. Mom died when I was 5, dad was absent, and was raised by other family members. You are doing something amazing, and you're wonderful for keeping those kids. A few things I hated growing up were 1, my aunt called me her kid, and I hated it. She is my mom's sister, so we look very similar, and people would just assume she was my mom. I would always quickly correct her and say niece, and then it would blow up into an argument. 2, my aunt made it very clear that by taking me in, I derailed her life. She would rant about how hard parenting was and how thankless of a job parenting was. She would bait me into thanking her for taking me in, and I still resent her to this day, even though I moved out 12 years ago. I realized my situation was much different and my aunt was a bee, but I just want to say, take care not to do or say anything that will make your kids think you don't want them or that they made your life harder. Best wishes. I wouldn't see someone as a traitor even if they changed their mind and decided they wanted kids. It's only when you start crapping on other people for not wanting that life for themselves that you become a traitor, in my opinion. I completely agree. I feel like the sub is more for support when we get berated by those people. I've seen the sub gladly welcome in parents who make posts saying they support us, and anyone who does decide they want children through any means but still supports child-free people is more than welcome to stay here. Totally agree. People are allowed to change their mind. I know I have changed my mind about a lot of things in my life. I don't like when former child-freers turn into those sanctimonious parents who say, "You'll change your mind just like I did." I have a good friend who was also child-free. We used to talk about how great it was fairly often. He started dating someone new, dropped out of social life for a bit. It happens, no big deal. Eventually, he told me he was going to be a father for the first time at 47 years old. He was embarrassed and felt like a hypocrite. My response was, "Dude, you're allowed to change your mind. I'm happy for you two." 3 years later, mom, dad, and kiddo are happier than ever. You can still come here. I'm child-free, but raised kids throughout my 20s and part of my 30s. They were my partner's children both times. Yeah, 2 different sets of stepkids. Both times it started as me and the boyfriend, but crap happened, and I suddenly had children to take care for. The first go was rough as they were little, 3 and 5. The bio mom was one of those plop them in front of the TV and let them eat through osmosis. It was a struggle, and their father was pretty useless when it came to, well, anything. There I was, 20, trying to do well by these little kids that had been raised a completely different way than I had, sitting on the couch with the youngest trying to help them learn to read and becoming very concerned that they weren't getting it. Then one afternoon, it all came together for them and they got it. I was so proud of him and me for staying patient and supportive to the little guy. Second go was teens, but I'd already been around for years, so while it wasn't roses, it was cool. I'm sorry that all of you have lost such special people. Hopefully you can all support each other with love and understanding through this grief and change. Bless you and your husband for taking these kids and saving them from their blood relations. Garbage families suck. I know from personal experience. It's gonna be tough, but there is a ton of good stuff in there with the not so good. I'm sending you all a motherly hug, and I truly wish the best for you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't leave. Subscribe. Be a for lifer.